And the launches, they just keep on coming. Xiaomi just launched the Mi 10T and the Mi 10T Pro in India yesterday, and I've been in general very critical of Xiaomi in the past for them refusing to launch flagships in India. But this time with these two phones, I think they've really delivered. Of course, I'm gonna have to spend time with these phones, hands-on time with these phones before I can confirm that, and I will be doing it next week. But right now, based on what I've been seeing, these two seem to be the most interesting phones for their segment. And why, you ask? Well, watch on. Hey guys, Ash here from C4 Tech, and if you do end up liking what you see in this video, thumbs up, subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. Let's call a spade a spade. Xiaomi is generally known for great value, and the Mi 10, it did leave us slightly disappointed because it wasn't priced as low as we'd expect a Xiaomi phone to be priced at. So the Mi 10T, the Mi 10T Pro, with these phones, Xiaomi's gone above and beyond to address that issue, to address pricing. The Mi 10T starts at 36,000 rupees and the Mi 10T Pro, it comes in at under 40,000 rupees. Add to this, there are card offers for up to 3,000 rupees. So compared to the Mi 10 launching at 50k, these seem to be a steal. So how did they manage to get this pricing? Because a few months back, Xiaomi was saying, hey, we can absolutely not get the Mi 10 to India for under 50k, GST increase, blah, 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 rupee depreciation and all that. And none of that has really changed right now. So how have they managed to get this pricing? Have they cut way too many corners? Well, as far as I can tell, there are very few downgrades here. Downgrades per se, to be precise, because the changes that they've made, and yes, that are changes, but these are more trade-offs than downgrades. So that said, let's start with the first trade-off. The display, it is still 6.67 inches, it is still Full HD+, but Xiaomi have gone from AMOLED to LCD, which is definitely a downgrade, but I'm not gonna call it a downgrade. Why? Because they are offering something in return, which makes it a trade-off. So what did they offer? The refresh rate from 90 Hz, it's gone to 144, and this display has something that they're calling adaptive sync. So basically, it offers 7 different levels of refresh. So the phone will be detecting what content is on screen, what app is on screen, and switching the refresh rates based on that. And this, Xiaomi claims, should result in the battery life being unaffected despite the switch to LCD, despite the switch to 144 Hz. Next, number 2, the display, it is now flat instead of curving at the edges. To some, this is a negative, yes, because the screen to body ratio also drops with this change. But then again, when you look at brands like Samsung, they've gone with flat panels. They were the pioneer with curved panels, but even they've been going for flat panels with their phones. And why? Because a lot of people seem to prefer flat panels. So this one, I'm gonna chalk it to personal preference. Personally, I like curved panels more. So to me, it looks more like a negative. The overall footprint here, like I said, since the screen to body ratio has dropped, it's gone up a little bit. And the weight has also increased by 8 to 10 grams. But again, this is a trade-off and not a downgrade, since we do get a higher capacity battery here, 5000 mAh instead of 4780. The charge speeds are also up marginally, 33 watts from 30 watts. Wireless charging though, that's been cut, so that's a clear corner cut. And the move from AMOLED to IPS has also made Xiaomi cut another corner. The fingerprint scanner, it cannot not be accommodated under the panel, so instead it's been moved to the side. Under the display is what I prefer. Anyways, with cameras, the 4 cameras have now become 3. The 2 main sensors, they remain the same, 108 megapixel Samsung ISOCELL Bright HMX with a f1.7 lens, more importantly an optically stabilized f1.7 lens. That is what we get on the Mi 10T Pro, just like the Mi 10. The secondary, it's still the same across both phones, it's 13 megapixels ultra wide. The depth sensor is cut, but hey, Crimea River, I am not sad about that. On the other hand, the macro, it's up from 2 to 5 megapixels. So again, we could technically call it a trade-off. And this is the only area where the Mi 10T and the Mi 10T Pro differ. Because while the Mi 10T Pro has that 108 megapixel camera like its predecessor, the Mi 10T, it's got only a 64 megapixel primary with an f1.9 lens that lacks image stabilization. But apart from this, everything else is identical. There's no change between the 10T and the 10T Pro. Even with the internals, the 10T series, it's actually seen a few improvements. The chip inside, it's still Snapdragon 865, no 865 Plus here, and it's still paired with DDR5 RAM, just like on the Mi 10, but the storage, it's now UFS 3.1 instead of UFS 3. The Mi 10T, it's available in flavors of 6128, 8128, and the 10T Pro only 8128. It is worth noting that NFC is present and accounted for on both phones in India. That's something Xiaomi hates doing, right? They want to cut NFC in India, but they've not done that here. Video recording is up to 8K on both phones, stereo speakers present. From a software perspective, well, technically speaking, Mi 10 launched with MIUI 11. This one launches with MIUI 12, but both sets of phones, they are all on MIUI 12 right now, built on top of Android 10. So same software, same chip, faster refresh and faster storage. This combination indicates that the Mi 10 series, or rather the Mi 10T series, should be a tad snappier than the Mi 10. So it does seem to be an upgrade, at least with regards to performance. Also, Xiaomi is now offering auto brightness sensors on both sides of the phone. Manu Kumar Jain claimed that should increase the accuracy of auto brightness, because you walk out and there's a shadow on your screen, you're still gonna have the proper auto brightness from the other side and all that. But then again, Manu Kumar Jain is known to BS, so let's we're not gonna take his whatever he says at face value. We're gonna wait, test this phone out, and then choose for ourselves. Anyways, how well this works, we will get to that in the unboxing video. For now, it is something new, it is something extra, and those are pretty much the differences. The Mi 10T and the Mi 10T Pro, they aren't the same kind of T-series phones that OnePlus has to offer. In that, with OnePlus, the T phones are always clear upgrades to their regular versions. But with the Mi 10T, yes, there have been improvements, but there have also been certain corners cut. But then to make up for the corners cut, they've also dropped prices by 14 to 17,000 rupees, which is just insane. So like I said, I should have an unboxing for you guys next week. In the meantime, you let me know if you have any questions that you want me to answer so that I will address them in the unboxing. And with that, we get to the end of this short video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.